The Raptors lose a tough one in Atlanta. 126-125 is the final. Welcome to Raptors Tonight. I'm Randy Urban, joined by Sherman Hamilton, Jack Armstrong, and Leo Rautins. Fellas, just an exciting game all around. Sherman, I'll start with you. What a fourth quarter. Just your thoughts on those last two plays first.
Well, I thought the Raptors did a very good job presenting that defensive challenge. Nwora did a great job in terms of cutting off Trey Young, and they were able to get the turnover. And now you flip that around on the other side of it, a little bit of a breakdown because you got to challenge Trey Young right over half court, but he looks at the rim, defender gets out of position, he attacks, and now your whole back end is compromised on the glass, and that ended up being the case. But I really, really enjoyed the way this group played without some key guys. They gave themselves a chance. They played hard. And down the stretch, you need your guys in the game to close it. They really didn't have them, but they played extremely hard against an Atlanta team that, by roster definition, had more talent on the floor than them.
Yeah, Leo, it's a whirlwind effort there down the stretch. Obviously, you do a good job of making Trey Young go up and over Scottie Barnes, but is it lack of boxing out there? Or how do those plays develop, and could they have gone any better? That play develop and could have gone any better?
Well, Thad Young was on Capella. He wanted to make sure Capella didn't get the offensive rebound. That left Bay with a couple of smalls, and he just pushed everybody out of the way and got the rebound. So tough situation. But, this is one of those games you really hope they would win because of the effort they got from those players. I mean, I think their bench got 56 points. They played really hard. They gave the starters who didn't really come out the way they needed to, gave them a chance to be in this game. And I thought, like Sherm said, I thought it was just a great effort. And if you can win a game like that, it carries you, right? Now you're going to go into Chicago, you're going to feel a little bit better. And that's why you really hope you get a win. But I have no complaints. Other than a slow start, I thought the effort was great there. And we're getting a pretty good look at a few guys like Gradey Dick. He looks very, very different right now. Nwora is an impressive kid. He said we've seen what Porter's doing for this team, but some promising players showing a little bit.
Yeah, Jack, let's talk about Nwora for a little bit there. He just had a great game all around. What were the things that stood out most to you?
Well, obviously, first of all, he could shoot the ball. We knew that coming out of Louisville. But, he broke in on a really good team of Milwaukee. And Indiana's a good team. So, minutes are hard to come by. And, it's funny. I know Jordan. He's from Buffalo. And, when I saw him, I said, look, man, you're going to get a chance. This is a rebuild here. You're going to get a chance. You make plays when you get that chance. And to his credit, he's doing it. And this is a great situation for him. And again, he got into the NBA and he's been on two winning teams. So, there's a good base there. And in terms of how hard you got to play the game, the way you got to play. And you see all that from him. He plays hard. He can shoot. He can put the ball on the floor. He moves well without it. He'll compete for you. He's not afraid. To me, I mean, he's a good get for that. I mean, there was so much attention, obviously, with the first round picks that the Raptors got, but he's kind of an under the radar, subtle guy in that move, and he really showed something.
Sure, I think everybody's just hoping Pirtle comes back as soon as possible. 76 points in the paint for Atlanta. Can you minimize this until he gets back, or is this just something you kind of have to deal with?
Well, I think Atlanta is one of those unique teams that, with Clint Capella and Trey Young, they have that real good two-man game, and stuff over the top, they get an easy look because he's so good at finishing over the top. And I think as you move forward, you're going to see a different type of pressure on the paint where they might have a big that might be able to back down and play back to the basket. But overall, the attack off the dribble is what really creates all the dissension. The ability to break the Raptors down off the bounce and get into the middle. And I talked about this earlier. Your back end gets all disjointed and out of position, and that creates all kinds of issues. So if they can do a better job, at least on the initial penetration of warding it off and closing up those driving lanes, I think that's how they protect the paint more than any big guy going down there and just dominating them, because they struggled on the glass as well, not only because they were small on the front line, but when you're rotating like that and guys are getting second chance opportunities, your paint is and your glass is going to be compromised.
Yeah, Leo, when I'm watching Scottie Barnes in the fourth quarter, I'm always impressed. And another great fourth quarter for him tonight. I just think he's just so good at delivering unselfishly.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if there's one thing that jumped out at me about his game from day one, is the way he sees the floor and can read plays. I mean, he's an exceptional passer. And with his size, he can see over the defense, he can get around the defense. And he really doesn't force his game. Like he'll get aggressive and he'll try to take you inside, which I have no problem with that. I love his post game, but he doesn't force that much. He will look for the best opportunity. He'll try to create situations, and he finds the open man. When he delivers that ball, it's on time, on target usually. So, I'm pretty impressed with him. And I'll tell you what I loved. Do you see when right down the end of the game when he grabbed Gradey Dick and just kissed him on the forehead?
Mm-hmm.
He's being a leader, right? He's being a leader. He's playing with guys that are going to struggle. It's going to be difficult, but he's giving them confidence. He's telling them he's appreciate their effort. He's leading by effort too. Things like that are going to go a long way. And when I see plays like that, I'm thinking he gets it. He gets it what it's about to be a leader. And the more of that you get, the more his teammates see that, the more they're going to accept him in that role.
Mm-hmm. Jack, let's talk about Gradey Dick a little bit. Some really nice minutes, some great plays. What did you like from his performance?
Well, the thing I'm seeing now is his processing ability in terms of adjusting to the pace of the game is improving. Like his alertness and awareness of different game situations, he's getting more comfortable of knowing when to put it on the floor, when to shoot the ball. Perfect? No, not perfect. But I think he's just starting to get more comfortable with what the NBA game is all about comparative to what the college game is all about. And remember, he was in high school, 18 months ago. So these are big jumps. And as Sherman and Leo know as great players, there are big, big jumps every notch you go up. And to me, I think that's the thing I'm most encouraged. The kid can shoot the ball. He'll be fine. I like his passing. I like the fact, and Sam and I were chatting about it in the first half during the game. You shoot the ball and I think he'll be a guy as a pro who'll get up to the high 30s, maybe low 40s, and he can put the ball on the floor when you close out at him for a bounce or two, and then get to the next place. And now I think he's starting to figure out where the next plays are. I think he was overwhelmed for a while. I don't see that anymore. So it's progress. And again, I joke about it, but I mean it. You got to throw the guy in the deep end. And you got to keep throwing him in the deep end. And tonight, he's on the court during finishing situations. That's going to make him a better pro.
Mm-hmm. And Jack, also, he doesn't mind stepping in. He hasn't got the benefit of the call a couple times on the charge, but he doesn't mind getting his chest bumped.
Well, and to me, I think again that shows that he's tough. I tell you what, he's got a toughness to him, and he's not going to let people punk him. And I like that. And I think, to me, again, it's funny. I was chatting with Sam in the first half of the game tonight. We saw Kyle Korver here tonight, and you look at Kyle Korver from Creighton, and then through his NBA career, he developed into a heck of a player. And to me, you look at Gradey, he's got that size. He's going to fill out. He's going to be a good pro. He's going to be fine.
Sherm, the question that Landry Fields is asking, and the other management staff on Atlanta is, why are they so bad defensively?
I think it's obvious. I mean, Trey Young can't defend his position, and that's the point of attack. And they try to hide him, and teams sniff him out. And the Raptors did a great job of sniffing him out at times and making sure that he was held accountable on that end of the floor. I've always said this. At the point of attack defensively, if you don't present resistance consistently, your defensive presence, I don't care how good guys are behind you, your defensive presence is not as strong as it needs to be. And because you have to keep Trey on the floor, because he's so good as an offensive player, your point of attack defense is not very good. And that's where the attack happens.
And sure, if I can Sorry,
Leo.
Jack. If I could
ahead,
add to
Leo.
that, if you got Bogdanovich in the backcourt with him, that's 2 liabilities defensively.
And to tag what you, Sherm and Leo, think about it. Why is Milwaukee not as good a defensive team?
Drew Holiday's not there.
Exactly. You got Drew Holiday and Derek White who can check dudes, right, on Boston, even though they had a tough loss the other night. But bottom line, and that's the same exact thing. So as great as Damian Lillard is, you can go after him. And people going after Trey Young. And I look at, like, Atlanta's got a tough decision. What do you do with this guy? I mean, is there a market for him? If there is a market for him, if I were to ever trade for Trey Young, I got to look at my roster and say, I got to have 3, maybe 4 plus defenders, not guys that are neutral. I literally have to have probably 4 plus defenders to overcome getting exposed. And like on every play sequence, I got to find ways to hide them. I got to come up with creative stuff when people try to put them in 2-man actions. How the hell I'm going to hide him? It's tough stuff. I mean, it's a tough look. He's a great, great offensive player. He's fun to watch. But man, oh man, if I'm Quinn Snyder or if I were any of the coaches he's had before, that's tough, man.
Sure, real quick, we got 20 seconds. Does he get away with carrying the ball too much? Or is it too late to regulate that?
Oh, well, I'll regulate it. Yes, he does. He carries the ball a lot. And I think it's such an advantage that he gains when he goes palm up with the ball because he can shoot it from so deep. If he can hesitate and look at the rim, and we all know that hesitation is what freezes and gets defenders out of defensive position to contest. Now he can carry that ball and he can throw it ahead 2 or 3 feet and go chase it down and get by you. It's an unfair advantage, and I wish the officials would call it more often.
Yeah. All right, guys, great stuff. Going to stop there. Next game for the Raptors, Tuesday night against the Chicago Bulls. Tip-off goes at 8 p.m. Eastern. Raptors Tonight will go live on YouTube shortly after the game. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.